Would you look at that? That's actually the first time I've seen that video. Welcome to Comic Industry Insiders Live. This is our pre-show warm-up, our banter. We're getting our swinging arms ready. We're like, pulling out the heavy bat right this second. We were away for several weeks while we figured out how to do things without our friends at the Experience. We're incredible partners, and at some point we realized that in order to grow, we were going to need to step away, and that's totally fine. Happy to have them doing what they're doing, and happy to be here building on our own. But building on our own means it was harder than we thought it was going to be. So it took us a couple weeks to work things out. But as you can see from that incredible video, we worked things out. I'm going to bring the man who built that and is surprising me all week long, apparently. Bringing to the stage, Mr. Brian Garside. Hey, my friend.
Me. Hey.
Hey. I know
Still
that
having an audio problem. I don't have my normal mic because, why would I, right? Why would I?
Look at that. Tommy didn't know what to do with himself.
Oh, Tommy.
I know. Anyway, what glorious echo? Do I have an echo? Somebody tell me I have an echo. Is that
no? You're fine.
Okay, all right.
You have no echo that I can.
All right.
I think he's making fun of me probably because my audio is always terrible.
That is actually kind of true. But you know what? We're gonna get there. This has been a labor of love for the people on this crew. We actually have some new faces that are going to be joining us as early as next week. And we're going to start talking about a lot of new stuff. We're going to make some changes to the formatting. We're definitely making changes to how you interact with us off the boards. So in the meantime, we're not giving anything away this week, but we'd still love to see you in the comments. So please do let us know if you're watching this. Where are you watching from? Are you watching from a shop while you unload? Like some of our guests. Oh, look at that. There's even a logo that popped up there. Check that out. This plane is being built while we're in the air. All right, we've only got about 4 minutes before we go live, and really do the thing that we do. So in those 4 minutes, I'm gonna bring to the stage really quickly 3 gentlemen who are gonna help us figure out how Free Comic Book Day went this year. And those are in order. Our good friend Jeremy Shore, who is a regular in our chats, and he is here with us today. How you doing, buddy?
Other than that, I'm okay.
Hard agree. All right, and we've got 2 newcomers to today's show, including all the way from the Canadian North, the wilds of Edmonton, Mr. Brandon Schatz.
Hey everybody.
You're still unloading boxes, is that right?
I just had to pick up my DC shipment from across town.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
excellent.
It was great.
I bet that's wonderful.
Uh-huh.
And our first time on the show. Welcome to the show. Not that Mike D. What's up?
What's going on, people? How y'all doing?
Good. Thank you guys for being here. We've only got about 2 minutes before we're going to go live. We're going to do a bunch of stuff, and then we're going to bring you all back, and we're going to talk about how Free Comic Book Day went. So I appreciate you being here when you're all bleary-eyed. But I do want to give you an opportunity to say, of anybody on the screen, what is the craziest thing that you leading up to Free Comic Book Day? What made this year unique? Like, if going in, what was the thing that showed you what was going to be?
Oh, it's the attitude. Everyone going into this, all my customers were positive and interested and engaged and asking questions about it that in years past no one, it's like Free Comic Book Day, oh yeah, I guess so. No, this year everybody was like, when is that? Oh yeah, that kind of thing. So
the hype was real.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
something like that. I just think it was what you can call it what you will. It just the engagement was real.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree. And
I'm,
I was
I'm
a
gonna
little bit.
run and get more work done because I got a bunch of stuff going on, and I'm listening, and I'll be back.
Okay. Thanks, Jeremy. We'll get you back. All right. What are you saying, Mike?
No, I was saying I agree, and it was crazy because leading up to Free Comic Book Day, I was worried about all the disruption that was happening in our industry with Diamond, and whether we could call it Free Comic Book Day or not, and all the things. And I was like, yo, if I'm confused about this, I don't know if we're gonna get this across to the folks that we need to show up.
Yeah.
But the opposite happened. Like he said, even though I was worried about it, folks were calling all the way up to the week of, just wanting to make sure it was happening, wanting to make sure that the books were going to be there. So it ended up being better than years prior, even with all of the crazy that was happening around us.
Awesome. I can't wait to get into that. We're going to get into some of the crazy and why this one was unique, but we are going to once again take you out. I'm going to go do the whole thing over again. I usually have 15 minutes in between them, but this time I have 5, and that's okay.
That's plenty of time.
So we're going to run this. Let's go. All right. Thanks.
By the way,
guys,
you
for
have
being here. What's that?
You have a 7-second intro, so don't get too comfy.
I have a 7-second intro, so don't try and go to the bathroom or something. Got it.
Get ready.
Here we go. Welcome to Comic Industry Insiders Live, your weekly bullets, your nuggets, the things that are actually going to affect your business or career, or your fandom, your love of comics. We are going to get into it. We do this every week, Tuesday at 2:00. We took a little break, so this is our first time back, and we are excited. New digs. I mean, my digs are still pretty old and really messy, but whatever. This is how work gets done. Don't you judge me. It's really good to be back. I'm really happy to be here. We're going to dig in some stuff, but first I'm going to bring forward my co-host and this week's producer. So he is working multiple duties. So if he looks a little confused, that's it. That's why. Mr. Brian Garside.
Imagine my surprise when I found out I was our producer this week. Imagine my surprise.
Hang on just a second. I'm responding to your text.
Okay, that's okay. Things work around here, people.
That's right.
We got
there you go.
backroom negotiations going on.
If you are watching, look at this already. Good conversation about the magazine.
Nice.
Oh, that's really nice. Thank you, man. Listen, Comics Magazine has been a joy to build. I'm sure we're going to be talking about it more and more during this episode. We normally will have contests, we'll have other stuff going on. This week we are just able to put together a show. We just barely got things together, but we saw that incredible video intro that Brian did. Brian, the AI that we're calling Brian. That's
don't even. I will lose my ever loving shit over that. The amount of effort that I put into that I literally could have done with a prompt in 15 minutes. Like literally. Don't even get me started.
Why didn't we think of the Comics the Manga zine?
Oh,
Joe Keating, if you're watching this,
genius.
That might be our next spinoff.
There may have to be a Comics the Magazine special episode, a special issue.
Oh yeah. There you go. There might be another special issue coming up. You should keep an eye open on those solicitations. What are we doing this week, Brian? We have a stacked show, don't we?
Yeah, it's pretty stacked. So we got to get moving right along.
Let's go.
So this week we've got the headlines that you need and the stories that you need to hear about.
Yeah,
including
the stories that we wished we had been live when they were new, because
my gosh, like the first two stories are literally, why aren't we live? To the point where Adam was going to say, what if we just did like a half-hour show?
We could just do a short one. We need to talk about this,
just
right?
Do 30 minutes.
I have to be live. My people need me.
Yeah. I was like, dude, we are so busy right now. Then we're gonna, our feature is a roundtable discussion about Free Comic Book Day 2026. Featuring the voices of the people that you saw during the pre-show. Well, their faces too, not just their voices.
Awesome.
Then we'll discuss the bestsellers list And get chatty. I'm not sure if we're going to do this last one because I don't know if we actually have the stuff for this, but we'll talk about it when we get to that.
You know what? You were cagey enough with that headline that I'm still not 100% sure I know what we're talking. I think I know what we're talking about, but I do want to. Oh yeah, of course, that's right. I do want to talk about this. We mentioned this in the pre-show banter. Normally, we do have contests. We have other things that give us an opportunity to chat with you during. What I'd love to hear from you if you're watching is where are you watching, right? Are you in a shop unloading boxes like Brandon, who is in his back room? We're going to get to him a little bit later. Are you like Jeremy, who is on his sales floor figuring things out on the fly? We'd love to hear from you. Where are you? What are you interested in hearing from? And tell us what we're getting wrong, because we almost always get stuff wrong. So there you go. Brian, we got to get in some headlines, man. Let's
Yeah, we do.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's dive in.
We're gonna start out with the one that you. Oh wait, before we do,
you know what? So as was mentioned in the chat, let's see. Let's find a new. I'm gonna have to put my headphones down for a second. Oh, look at this. Hang on. This right here is issue number 3 of Comics the Magazine. It is in stores tomorrow. I'm sure Brandon is unpacking a box with them right now. In every issue of Comics the Magazine, there are a number of really fantastic features. This one has a Dungeon Crawler Carl ad on the back, which means you probably have to buy it and sell it for $100. I think that's how the rules go now, right? But in every single issue of Comics the Magazine, trying to remember where exactly in this issue they are, we have something called classified ads. And where did we put the classifieds? Anybody remember?
Like towards the end of this one. I gotta grab mine too.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, that's right. It was I totally forgot about this. Okay, I did approve this. I swear I've read this issue a couple times. The classifieds are one of my favorite features in this. Right next to this ad from Cosmic Comics. What's up, Brian? You usually in the chat. These are classified ads. They go out to every single issue of Comics the Magazine, and you could be in that issue for a mere starting at $20. Seriously, $20. $20. You can have your own classified ad. You can get out to the world. It's almost like social media if people actually cared about it. In the same way that we all kind of resent social media now, but people who are reading this don't resent it. They're enjoying it. They're turning pages. They're reading. At no point do you feel like, oh, I've wasted my life. You just you're part of that good feeling for a mere $20. I think everybody should be signing up for Comics and Magazines classified ads. But I've also been told we are over
the price.
We that's true. All right.
So if you do want to get a classified ad in Comics the Magazine, just email classifieds@comicsthemagazine.com, or you can do Gabe at Comics the Magazine or Gabe at Prana DM, wherever you
find your Gabe.
Send an email. Yeah.
Wherever your favorite Gabe is.
Find a Gabe.
Look at this. Right there. Sold one. Done. There you go.
There you go.
On it.
20-word minimum. So the minimum cost to entry is $20, but $20. Like I've literally spent $20 on dumber things this week.
Seriously, on a daily basis, I spend $20 on dumber thing.
Yeah. Have you met a bodega? This week's headlines. Marvel comic layoffs, what we should have been talking about 3 weeks ago.
We really should have. Yeah.
Warner Brothers Paramount.
What we should have been talking about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
I'm not even going to try that. Is it
Kodakawa?
Kodakawa. Okay.
That's how I
Third
say
Eye are both growing. And on top of that, there was I just saw something. The manga spot is growing too. Is that Kodakawa?
That's Kodakawa. That's manga spot is Kodakawa, and Third Eye are both announced opening. We'll get into that. Well,
for sure. Yeah, for sure. And then we're going to talk Dr. Nose.
I am going to see. We had a special guest about that one. Let me see if he is going to be joining us.
We might just be talking Dr. Nose without a special guest. We'll see.
You joining us? Boy, oh boy, this is why we need a producer, kids. This right here, you're learning. This is on the fly.
Well,
we're gonna make
let me get us started with our Marvel story.
Oh, man,
Marvel
This one makes me
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
Actually, they're all a little bit. It's all a little bit weird, but yeah, this one definitely gets me. Go ahead.
So Marvel got caught up in the overall Disney of it all, where
Mm-hmm.
Disney just did some serious gutting, and there's no other word to put it, gutting of staff. They got rid of like basically everybody who was on the Marvel MCU art team. There were thousands of people let go. David Gabriel was among them. Tell us a little bit about who David Gabriel is and what this means.
So David Gabriel has been the head of sales and marketing, and I'm not even sure what his actual title was, but he started off as just kind of the standard sales and marketing guy at a publisher. He has been there for, I want to say it was 18 years. I want to say was the number. So this was that 2008. During that time, I was a comics retailer and very much like following what he did. I will tell you, one of my favorite things that he did was he would give, back then in the aughts, he would give us heads up, right? Of, I think you guys didn't order enough of this one. And we wouldn't know why, but if those of us who were listening would go, oh, and you find out that you just ordered a case of The Death of Captain America. Like, he started in that place. And he also, as a result of it, really did a whole lot of, Jeremy Shore's telling me, VP in charge of sales. I think that's right.
Yeah. That's a senior vice president, print, sales, and marketing at
there you
Marvel
go.
Worldwide.
As he, one of the things that really, I think, innovated early on for those of us who watch how these people do their work, because we have to do this work, is he was really successful and very smart in how he would communicate through incentives. So he would say, this particular one is getting this particular incentive, which would cause you to go, wait, why is this one so interesting? Like anything in publishing, you push that button long enough and, the mouse stops showing up for the pellet. But he really was involved in that. Towards later and later in his time there, he became I'm told, one of the most powerful people in comics publishing, because he was able to say yes or no to new titles. He was one of the few people who could tell editors, no, we're not doing that, or yes, or go build this title because we need this character back out, right? He also was instrumental in the cover policy that Marvel had, which, in many ways kept them on top for the longest time. It was that cover policy is really what shifted things for them. So it's not surprising to me that he's taking a step back. 18 years is a long time in the same
23
job.
actually.
23.
23
years. That actually does track, because I think Captain America is longer than 18 years ago.
Yeah, it was about 2006 or 7. I want to say.
That sounds right. Yeah. So anyway, he is incredible. I love him as a human. He's one of my favorite people to hang out with when I see him at shows. He's an absolute sweetheart. And yeah, I mean, he, in many ways, a big reason why Marvel was in that top spot on market share for as long as he was there. Maybe, who knows why Disney chose this opportunity to, kind of push him into the sort of cleaning house that they were doing, as a result of, seemingly to me, everything else just felt like there was an AI layoff, right? I mean, all the big companies are doing these rounds of AI layoffs. And, I think the way I read this, David just got caught up in that, which is, I mean, not surprising. These kinds of things happen. So, he is, I'm sure, he's going to be missed. I'm sure that whoever is stepping into that role, or whatever that role looks like now, is going to, they have a big shoes to fill. So,
yeah, for sure.
And
I mean, this is kind of how these things go. So let's all remember that Disney bought Fox a few years ago. And part of that purchase is that they were saddled with a whole bunch of debt from that purchase. And over time, they have to continue to show shareholder growth, right? That's the whole name of the game. And they've got a new CEO at Disney that has come in and taken over things. And one of the first things the new CEO does is shake things up. right?
Yeah.
So this is not really a surprise. This is called corporate
Yeah.
shenanigans 101,
Yeah.
which ties us directly into shenanigans. Corporations gonna corporate. So Warner Brothers and Paramount's merger has been approved by shareholders formally on April 23rd, 2026.
Mm.
With this, we will create a new mega conglomeration called Paramount Warner Brothers, I believe is the initial name of it. Paramount Warner Brothers Skydance. And I'm sure no bad will happen from this because no bad ever
No.
happens when two massive corporations. Oh, wait. The next line is Paramount aims to realize $6 billion in cost savings through the merger, signaling significant massive layoffs to address the $79 billion in debt it will be acquiring.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's like,
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends in the entertainment industry, mostly in Toronto, but I have a few in California, and this is sending a massive chill. And a lot of them are hoping that California will attempt to veto this because
Yeah.
it's going to really, really affect jobs in California. And that industry has not recovered from the double whammy of COVID and the writer strike. So yeah, it's crazy. Over 1,000 filmmakers and creators have signed an open letter opposing the merger. There's massive concern about job losses across the industry, impacting especially freelancers and vendors who have overlapping studio roles. You know, one of the big dark secrets in the last 20 years is that the cool jobs that we all used to aspire to when we were in television and film were the studio jobs.
Yeah.
And those slowly got whittled away. And so now you have like companies, freelance companies that bid on the projects and they get just like destroyed because they're giving up so much for this
Yeah.
stuff. They don't have the, you know, the benefits and all the things that you used to have in the industry. So yeah, I mean, this doesn't look great. I think that,
Well,
yeah,
and I think that the biggest question really that we have going into this, I mean, you're right. There are several things standing in the way. This is not a done deal. The debt ratios between Warner Brothers and Paramount are completely cattywampus, right? You know, Warner Brothers has this massive, massive debt problem, and Paramount does not. But you know, Warner Brothers does have just one of the biggest IP libraries in human history. So you know, these things could absolutely match up. But the biggest question I think everybody really is wondering is how does this affect DC Comics, right? DC Comics is coming in very strong into 2026 with the Absolute line, and the movies, the James Gunn movies are all coming up hot in the series. I think in many ways, a lot of people I'm talking to say that DC becomes even more valuable, right? It's owned outright. They don't have to license anything. There are no expirations. There's nothing, you know, it's not like Disney and Sony fighting it out over Spider-Man. They're already structured for sort of this cross-media exploitation that DC does really, really well. And so long as they're making good movies. So I think, you know, we could see a much stronger DC as a result of this because there are resources and no longer that debt. So I don't know. It feels to me like we're in a good spot, but boy, oh boy, we'll see.
yeah. I mean, ultimately, DC's entire like operating line is the catering budget for the next
Yeah,
Superman movie. You know, like it's
exactly.
not, we're not talking about a ton of cash here.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot to really squeeze because they've been squeezed by back in the day, you know, what was it, Verizon or somebody that owned some ridiculous AT&T on them. Before that, it was like the AOL Time Warner nonsense. Like,
I would
God,
say,
I
you
hate
know, there's
corporations, dude. I
every
hate
time one
them
of
so
these things
much.
happen, we hear fear that, oh, this bigger company is going to license this out to someone else. DC Comics is going to fail. Comic shops are going to go under. The direct market's going to die. I've heard it I mean, literally dozens of times in the time, just in the time I've been doing this job, because there have been several of these mergers. Every time that one of them happens, we hear that. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. What
No.
I do see happening is if you have business with DC, things are going to slow real down. Like they're going to be real hard to communicate with.
Oh yeah.
Because nobody really wants to be the nail that is popping up when there's a hammer, swinging around.
Yeah.
Like you just be real careful in working with DC as corporate, because as Brian said earlier, corporate's going to corporate. And my understanding is the DC team, while they're seeing sales they've not seen since the late 80s, they are at a third of the team size that they had the last time they were anywhere close. So yeah, it's going to be a challenging time to work with them,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, moving on,
Shall
after
we?
all the fun corporation stuff, let's talk about something actually fun.
Yeah.
Dr. No's Games and Comics in Atlanta, right?
Well, I wouldn't say this part's not fun. Yes.
Well, no, but no, but I mean, you gotta
Yes. Atlanta,
take it as a
Georgia.
celebration and not
Yes.
as a
That's true.
not as
Yes.
I see this as a really fun story that also
Absolutely
has a personal element to it.
Absolutely.
Cliff Biggers, who was the founder of Comic Shop News back in the day, and I think Dr. No's is one of the oldest comic shops in the US, is it not?
It's easily one of the oldest with a single owner. And it is, it is a legacy brand in the direct market. It is an incredible shop. I will say I've heard from many people who live in Atlanta that it is an absolute, vital resource. And Cliff, and I can tell you as somebody who has been dealing with retailers for a very long time, Cliff has been a valuable voice in the comics retail community. He's always been involved in that sort of online retail community. He's a total pain in the ass when he disagrees with something you're doing. He has zero problem letting you know. But yes, he is selling Dr. No's to new owners. In the same way that he also sold Comic Shop News, CSN, recently. And you know what? I would say those two, the fact that he was able to pull those two things off, that's worth celebrating in and of itself.
Yeah.
So many people build things inside of our community, inside of our industry, and it just dies with them, or when they retire, it doesn't hang around. The fact that he built two different companies, was able to sell them and carry on those legacies, incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. So he actually turned the store over as of May 1st to its new owners, Ryan Schwanke and Jason McCarthy, who I believe were staff there.
I believe
if
so.
I remember that right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So yeah, that's exciting. So they got to have their first free comic book day this weekend, which is really cool. And yeah, it's funny. I think it is something to celebrate when a retailer gets to retire and move on to do something else.
When I bought Brave New World back in the year 2000, it was I bought it in May 1st, and in 2001 I was getting ready to staff up for our big anniversary of owning it for the first year, and we were going to do a book. We were going to try and give away free comic books, and of course, in the meantime, Joe Field helped create Free Comic Book Day for our first anniversary. So I appreciate you, Joe. I appreciate you getting out there and making that happen. So
that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
We had hoped to have Cliff on to talk, but unfortunately he wasn't able to join us.
Not this week. He is going to be joining us soon. We're going to reschedule. So he's dealing, he made this decision because of some health issues, and he's dealing with those health issues, but we're going to find another time. We're going to bring Cliff on. We're going to celebrate the man properly. He's an absolute legend in our world. So we need to actually, I'm looking forward to taking that time with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk fun.
Speaking of, you know what I love about this crew, by the way, is they're all in our private chat, like commenting on the conversation as we go, and they're vital. So I'm looking forward to getting them up front so we can talk to them.
Well, let's do it. Why don't we bring in the whole crew? I
think they're all in the back rooms here. All right. So I think we're going to do this in the reverse order that we brought them in during the pre-show banter. First of all, coming in from Chicago, Illinois, not that Mike D, from Blurred's Underground. What's up, Mike?
Oh, what's up, people? How y'all doing?
Good. Your sound, you're off. No, I'm kidding. You sound great.
That's spectacular.
He was so worried that he was going to get that wrong. I appreciate you coming in today. All right, then Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Mr. Brandon Schatz, some varied edition. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
Oh, sorry, guys. I was just checking this out.
Yeah.
What are the chances?
Your favorite part was the classifieds, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Right at the end.
Yeah, I get you. All right. And very near my hometown, the man who is often in our chat and when we're getting it wrong, will definitely let us know, Mr. Jeremy Shore. What's up, my friend?
Hi there. How's it going?
It's going really, really well. Thank you for
good.
joining us.
I have a check to hand to somebody, and I'll be right back.
That's amazing. This is the best. Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure which I love about that. I don't remember the last time I wrote a physical check, but yeah, there you go.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
We can. Okay, good. All right, excellent. When we have Jeremy on, one of my favorite traditions is the fact that he cannot sit still during the entire interview. So he always has something going on because what you can't see is that he's right behind the counter. Jeremy, I muted you, so whenever you're ready, you jump on in. All right, so let's start with the same order here. Let's talk about how was Free Comic Book Day. Let's I want to hear about this year, and then we're going to talk about a little bit about the drama behind it and why it was this year was so different. I'll play the simple son. So, Mike, how did it go? How did Saturday?
It was incredible. I mean, I'm located in Chicago. I've been in the business for 5 years, so I'm probably the newest kid on this block. But of the 5 years that we've been doing Free Comic Book Day, this has not only been the best, but it surpassed whatever expectations I had. And we talked in the pre-show just a little bit about some of the disruption and the drama leading up to it, having no idea what it was going to be like, having all the anxiety going into the day of. But saw crowds that we have not seen in 5 years show up and show out. So it was incredible.
That is incredible. So 5 years. What does that mean? You were starting this in 2021. You started
right after they opened the world back up. It was
my god,
craziest damn decision I've made. My wife still thinks I was crazy, but yeah, that was me. That was that guy.
I have never heard this story. I know we want to get into the rest of Free Comic Day, but just really quickly, what made you decide to open it? What were you doing before that?
Well, I must have been smoking something, right? I mean, no, man, I got into a crazy situation. I was going to jump in the industry before the pandemic. I had reached out to a guy who was getting ready to close a shop in Chicago about getting into the industry then. But then, of course, the world shut down. We went through the pandemic and all that. And right as the world was reopening, he was getting ready to close his last shop. And I felt like, if we don't jump now, it'll never happen. So we made him an offer to buy the shop out in LaGrange, Illinois. And he said yes to it. My wife said I was crazy. And 5 years later, we're celebrating 5 years in the business. So I'm glad we did it, but it was crazy.
And you're still crazy.
Still crazy. Still crazy, Jeremy.
We all have to be.
Yeah, a little bit. You don't have to be, but it sure does help. Jeremy, we are in between customers for you. How was Free Comic Book Day this year? Because this has been you've had more than 5, right?
A couple. Yeah. We're June 1st will be 35 years.
Goodness gracious. So
35, keep in mind that's 35 years in Dallas under Titan Comics.
Right.
My wife, who I married the owner back in 1989, opened her first store in 85. So, but in Titan Comics, 35 years. So yay. It was, this was, at least in terms of sheer numbers, if it wasn't the best Free Comic Book Day we've ever had, it was real close. And we put a lot of work and effort. I had, 8 or 9 local creators outside the store on the sidewalk. I had a DJ, I had cosplayers, the whole 9 yards. And there was probably, in the 8 hours we were open 11 to 7. I think the register didn't have somebody in front of it a total of 15 minutes. So that's a good thing.
Wow. That is incredible. So it was just literally running all day long, your register.
It was wall to wall people all day long, and that's a good thing.
That is so fantastic. I love hearing that. What about you, Brandon? How are things in the Canadian?
You take care of yourself, David. Nice seeing you, man.
It was similarly great, honestly. And yeah, like you said, despite the kind of like chaos more or less behind the scenes, I mean, like I just got these two now for Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You get your box yet? With the graphics to give away? Yeah, I just got a box of stuff from Scholastic today that's clearly free comic.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, it's been wild. It's like even the locator, which had to be like cobbled back together. I was listed twice in the same spot. It was weird, because I guess they took information from different spots. But yeah, in terms of being busy, like it was our best Free Comic Book Day in the store's 11 years, and this is after we also did Independent Bookstore Weekend, where the area actually has a passport to go around to different stores. So this was like weekend 2 of just bonkers. So I'm like, I need a nap.
Well,
it's a good.
Well, let's get into why everybody was a little suspicious this year was not going to happen. So, if you don't mind, I'm just going to give a quick TED talk on how this happened. Obviously, Diamond Comics went through their bankruptcy. What we didn't find out until deep into the bankruptcy process was that Diamond actually owned the trademark to Free Comic Book Day. There was a lot of conversation about whether or not Free Comic Book Day was going to happen at all. Although I assured every publisher I was in, I'm like, comic book retailers are going to figure this out. Whether you do something or not, comic book retailers are going to have Free Comic Book Day. You cannot stop them. And you let somebody else try and go around and sue them all for using the stuff they've had, the signage they printed up 10 years ago. But so we found out later, Universal Distribution, the new kind of distributor into the US, who has been established in Canada, they bought the trademark. They announced that they were making it available to everybody, all the publishers who were using it. That meant everybody using Lunar and Diamond UK and whomever else. Any publisher using not Universal, Penguin Random House made the choice to have another title, so that they were not using the same trademark. What is it called? What was it called? Free
Comics Giveaway Day.
Comics Giveaway Day. Different logo, but it was still the same mechanism to get them out. That was, I would say, how did I do? How was that little TED talk? Did I get that brief right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
For like half a second, Lunar was going to call theirs first Saturday in May.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. There was a lot of conversations. I was on the phone with the heads of Comics Pro and Lunar and everybody. We were trying to work it out. We actually built a what is it? I think we bought
I was trying to remember the name. Yeah, we bought a URL.
I think it was freecomic.day. I think that's what we called it.
Yeah. And then your lawyer told you that was a terrible idea.
Yeah, my lawyer said, please do not do that. And I said, but I want to. And he said, well, do you want to get sued? And I said, well, not really, but maybe. And no.
His lawyer said, well, I really like money, so go ahead.
Go right ahead.
And then he went, oh.
Yeah, well, anyway, so if anybody needs freecomic.day, I'm willing to sell it. I don't know what you're going to do with it. It's not, it doesn't get you sued by, huh? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It was interesting to see, just like watching the kind of chatter online on Saturday, and just almost every store said that this was their record, their highest sales day that they'd ever seen. So yeah, it was pretty exciting.
It's an oasis of certainty in the midst of this current swirl that our society is in. I'm trying to get too philosophical for it, but I think that might have something to do.
I totally agree. I mean, and this is, I think, one of the reasons that comics are doing really well is because, well, it is a luxury and you don't have to have it. It's also really cheap luxury. Like, where else can you pay $5 and be entertained, and then have a thing that you can go back through multiple times. Like, yeah, it's and in a world of like, I was saying to my wife the other day, you go to a plaza and there's no retail anymore. There's a massage place, there's a
Right.
dentist, there's an orthodontist, there's 3 food places. There's nothing else, right? So like,
Right.
we're also a bastion of retail in a world that has less and less options for you to go out and buy
Absolutely.
things.
That's
So yeah,
absolutely it. And it's it is that weekly cadence, right? The thing that keeps people coming back, that have the relationship with the gentleman we see on the screen. Like
yeah.
it is that weekly cadence that makes comics the direct market so unique and just a real. I mean, if nothing else, I think it's an example for how retail should be on a neighborhood level. Like if you are a retailer and you're not in comics, like this is find a way to get people to come in and build that relationship.
Yep.
I want to take just a brief minute and talk about something that did fall apart as a result of this. And I'd love to hear people in the room if you had an issue with this. One of the challenges that was facing Universal was the logo issue, right? So they were now policing a logo for the entire industry and giving it to publishers to put on the books that are then sold and give to you. It is a common misconception that at some point, I read this like 3 times in the last week on like various Reddits and conversations, is other social media conversations, is that at some that the retailers have not always had to buy the books they give away. Like at some, like they used to be getting them for free. And I thought, I don't know where that came from.
That is as long as I remember.
Yeah. But retailers, you do buy I mean, you're buying it basically at print cost, or maybe even just above print cost in some instances. And some just below in some instances. I know that for certain. But this year there was an issue with there had been a tradition of the Free Comic Book Day logo being in different colors based on what the contents were as an age indicator. That had to fall apart because honestly there was just nobody to police it. But would you say, I'd love to hear from all of you, did you see any sort of effect of that? Did you have any concerns when you were dealing with the books you give away? Jeremy, Dallas is I will say, a pretty conservative part of the world. Do you have a challenge there with that?
No, not really. We vet all of the that is, we look at every single book regardless of what it looks like it is, and reach our own conclusions based off of our community as to what I think the best audience is, kids or not.
Yeah.
And we make sure to I've seen this done. I don't remember where I got this from, but I do a stand-up rack, and the stuff on the bottom shelves, basically what we tell people is the higher it is, the less kid friendly. If your kid has to reach for it, probably want to at least check it out yourself as a parent and make sure that it's okay for them. And that seems to work real well, and it's intuitive enough that the parents can get it. And people don't read signs. I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Every retailer in here goes, yep, they don't read signs. So you can have all the signs you want about this is for kids and this is not. But if you've got it more, you also build in that intuitive part of, if it's higher up, not kids. People get it pretty easily and quickly and don't really even comment on it. So that's what we do here, and it seems to work real well.
Cool. Michael, Brandon, did either of you have an issue?
Yeah, it wasn't as big of an issue for me. I mean, we, much like Jeremy, like we've gotten into the cadence of checking the books when they come in, regardless how they look, right? So like my staff, my one of my owners, Zoe, did an incredible job going through the books beforehand and recommending what the age appropriate books were at each level. But then I gotta shout out Comics Pro too, because right up to the week of, I think they were putting out information like, here's how we've separated them out, and it made it even more clear. Yeah, thank you, Shannon, for real. I
Shannon.
mean, those are the things I love about Comics Pro. Is like we weren't alone in trying to figure it out. They came up with this list and handed it out to us about a week before too. So we weren't really scrambling. Plus, the way we do it might be a little unique. Where like we have outside all of the free comic book day titles, and we have people tell us like outside which 3 they want, and they kind of like write it down to take into the store. And our people up front, when they're having them go through the selection, will kind of tell them too, like, hey, mom, dad, this might not be one, you want your kid. So we have a couple layers in there to help protect that. But obviously, like the big one was Comics Pro this year coming through in the clutch. So thank you, Shannon.
Yeah. And honestly, our system here is 3 different ways to do it, basically. Like it's tables, it's in a space, and the adult ones are just in a different space, basically. I have to do this a lot for book fairs where it's like the littles, the middles, and you go up from there type of thing. And yeah, I would never trust any system to be foolproof. So even with the different colors, there were ones that were mislabeled in past years. And Free Comic Book Day is so busy that you can't police during it. It's just happening. So you kind of put things where they need to go and have a time with that. Though I do have a little bit of an anecdote from a previous year where somebody had that Ed Piskor book that was like fairly adult that was on Free Comic Book Day.
Red Room.
And the kid grabs it and was just like, oh, well, the ones on these tables aren't necessarily for you. And the kid goes, I was born in the darkness. And the dad went, stop telling people that.
That kid's gonna do all right. Brandon, as long as we're talking to you, so you said that you had a 1-2 punch of Free Comic Book Day and Bookstore Day. Tell us about Bookstore Day and how that is. I mean, would you recommend other retailers get involved? How was that for you?
Yes, I absolutely would. It gets you a completely different audience, and one that is still extremely interested in reading, obviously. And one of the things that they want when they go to the different bookstores is to get different types of recommendations, things that might be out of their comfort zone. So I would recommend it if you do have a very healthy graphic novel section and good recommendation mechanisms. I would also definitely recommend, and this could honestly be adapted for Free Comic Book Day, but I'm not exactly sure how well different areas play together. My area, the comic shop owners are all mad at each other for both real and perceived reasons. So like,
sorry, because I know that area. So
yeah. But what the bookstores did here for the past 3 years is they made like a little book passport. And so you go around, you get your stamps. The more you get your book stamped, this year there was a QR code to make it easier for people to enter. The more you get entered into a prize, and so it encouraged people to go through the different locations over the whole weekend. And so it's a really cool mechanism to help people who really do want to read and have different experiences check out all the different types of stores in your community. It's really cool.
I know. Speaking of Chicago, I went one year. C2E2 coincided with Bookstore Day, and we had a party at Goblin Market, and I will say they were so wiped out by the time they got to our party because they dealt with like a crowd all day long. Just that simple passport thing was really all they needed. It's incredible piece.
I gotta run. I got too many people waiting for me. Y'all,
Jeremy.
All right, Jeremy. Take it easy, man. You know what though, Adam, and I have not verified this yet, but I heard some scary news about C2E2 falling on the same weekend as Free Comic Book Day next year. So I don't know how in the world we about to manage over here in Chicago. Y'all pray for us, because I just heard that in passing, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like not the same weekend.
I had not heard that. That is very annoying, because I try and do C2E2 every year, and I don't know. That's going to be interesting.
Very.
Oof. Very. I mean, it's tough. Those conventions, I don't know. I feel for those guys who run those conventions because you never know when that convention center is going to be open from year to year and who's going to bump you. You could be there in the same weekend for a decade and they can just decide to bump you. Yep. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, because the dentists, right? The dentist, man, they got the real money.
Yeah, it's true.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I think we have wrung this one dry. I will tell you that every retailer who I don't think I had a single retailer in my ask for feedback who didn't say they had either an incredible day or the best day of ever, like the best day they've ever had. So that was, I mean, wonderful. I am going to, before we let you guys go, I realized this while you were talking is that Mike, one, we got to get you on our long form podcast because it is a oh well that's not what I want because it's we had 2 of the 3 here today on that long form, so I want to get the code there.
I'm down. Let me know, man. I'll even get this mic working next time.
Let me know. This is the interview we did with there we go, Jeremy and Cecilia of Titan Comics, and this is.
For those of you who can't hear, Adam is actually adding this to the chat right now, so that everyone has links to different episodes.
That's right, and this is Brandon and Danica. There you go. So you guys can, everybody can get caught up on our retailer experts and their history, long sordid histories of doing this work that we are all so grateful for. You guys, if you don't mind, we're going to get into another segment, and I'd love to have you around just to hear about how things sold. We're going to jump into, let's just keep them on the screen, Brian.
Yeah, let's do it. We don't have to kick anybody off.
I don't got to kick anybody off. We're in charge now. There's nobody telling us how to do things, Brian.
No. We could even swear at any point because none of them can tell us we can't.
That's right, because no ads are sold. So fuck that. That's right, exactly. So at some point we'll sell ads, right? Maybe, I don't know. So this is the Prana bestseller list. This is something we've been developing along with our friends Manage Comics and Comic Shop Assistant, the 2 fastest growing POS system or POS system adjacent, whatever it is that Brian calls himself.
I'm using Manage right now.
Oh, excellent.
Look at
that. There you
I'm using Manage right now and it works.
How much did you pay Brian for that?
He's a Canadian. He's a good Canadian. He's out there helping a fellow Canuck out.
So Brian and our buddy Django and Jeff, they're nice enough to contribute their data to this project. 80,000 consumers are represented by the data that we pull, 600 plus stores in various markets all over the world. The reason why this is important is, unlike other people who are attempting this and doing, the best work they can, no one store can really shift how these numbers are going to come out. So it really gives you a much broader view of how books are performing. Right this second, we're only doing week to week, but coming very, very soon, we're going to have be able to start reporting month to month and quarter to quarter. Let's dig into this week, though. This is what the market share by publisher looked like. Marvel taking that top spot. Congratulations, Marvel. You only had to have a DC character in your book to get on.
I mean, that's not fair. Marvel's done this a few times recently with Daredevil #1. They managed to do it, but yeah, you're right.
Every time they have Superman on a book, that's they get that #1 position. Crazy. It's incredible. Crazy. DC coming in solid #2. Image. It's been funny ever since we started this. Image has not really deviated that 14 to 18%. No matter how big the release is, they just cannot seem to block out of that. IDW coming in at #3, Dynamite #4, Mad Cave Studios. I think that's the first time we've seen them in the #5 spot. That's a really high up on that list. My old friend's Bad Idea. 1.3. And we'll get into how that happened. I think it really came out of that really cool Tony Millionaire book that came out that week. Vault Comics, 1.24. They're having a run. Boom's doing really well. Titan, both are really on this list. But I think we are next slide has the top 10. There we go. See there? All you need to do is put Spider-Man and Superman on the list in order to get.
Yeah, I mean, but they also had a pretty strong showing with Uncanny X-Men,
That's true.
Punisher, Ultimates. Like they've got a lot of stuff in the top. That Swamp Thing 1989. Holy mackerel. I did not expect that to sell out as quickly as it did.
Yeah.
And like people just keep asking about it. I gotta check and see if there's a second printing. But yeah, that did really, really well. Yeah, like look at that top 10, Adam. That is mostly Marvel stuff.
That's true. That's true. I'm giving them shit because I really want them to figure it out, and I'm worried.
I agree.
I'm worried about them, but yeah,
especially when your fifth title is one issue away from being done and they've not really announced a replacement for it.
That's a very good point. When is that release? That replacement coming, kids? All right, let's dig into. I'm just looking right now. We don't have graphics for this, but I'm looking at this list. Image cracked at number 12 with Red Roots number 1. What was that? I haven't read that one. Does anybody like to read it? Know it?
Yeah.
Didn't read it.
Okay. Let's see. They come in at Skin Breaker for number 15. And then a few more. White Sky, I Hate Fairyland. Dynamite hitting the list with Harley Quinn x Elvira with an average of 6 copies per store. 2 Free Comic Book Day books made the sales charts. I wanted to get into that for a little bit. Yeah, I want to talk about Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
what was that book like for you guys? Let's discuss that. How did that? I mean, A, how does that happen that a Free Comic Book Day book becomes so hot? And B, how do you manage that when people are just coming in for that and they're not paying anything? Like I saw reports of retailers selling it for $10 or $20 on the day of. That doesn't feel right. But also, I don't know. Tell me,
used to be in the rule that you couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's true. But there are no rules right now. It is the Wild West. There's nobody managing those rules. There are no consequences for breaking those rules. So, yeah. No, I understand the supply does not, I get that part, Django. Thank you very much. But how does, all right. So, there's a lot of conversation around it. How did you guys manage it?
I'm gonna be honest. I did not know how hot this book was going to be. My staff had to tell me, dude, you're gonna want to pay attention to this one because I guess, and again, not to sound like a broken record with Comics Pro, when we were there and they talked about this book, everybody was kind of writing down, and I'm like, that's weird. Everybody's paying attention to this thing I've never heard of. And then leading up into Free Comic Book Day, I was talking to one of my co-owners, and she was like, yo, people are going to come in as I'm forget everything else. They're gonna be asking for this dungeon crawler, and I'm going, what the hell is a dungeon crawler? And so she starts explaining it to me, and I'm scratching my head. I have not actually read it yet. I have a copy, but it was one of the most sought after books when people were coming in, especially folks who were going from store to store this year. That was the one that was going first at most of the shops. So by the time they made it to mine, if I had it, they were just ecstatic. But the reception was crazy for it.
Yeah. And this one's even just the adaptation of the webtoon. So it's not even, it's out there for free also. But I'll tell you a great way to combat the speculators on that one. Stamp all your Free Comic Book Day books.
Right. Right. That's right. We'll throw a sticker on them like we did.
There you
right.
Go.
Yep.
There you go. I'm curious to know how many of those get sold. Also, if any of the eBay listings start having store stamps on them, people are real hungry for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, That's incredible. All right, getting back to this list, shall we? I think it is notable that those two, both the Spider-Man 1000 Clean and Black was on the sales list, along with Dungeon Crawler Carl. So that means people were out there selling that book through the systems. Oddball's Odyssey, Bad Idea, making it number 30. That's the Tony Millionaire book. I think it's the best use of that paper quality they've had so far, personally, but there you go. Warbird Zero, number 45 for Bad Idea. Then let's see. Titan Comics coming in. Elric the Sleeping Sorceress, number 1, coming in at number 58. All of this is let's see. Oni Press, Murder Drones, number 3. I think that's, how long has that been out? That wasn't brand new, was it? Last week? I guess it could have been. I don't know.
I'm surprised.
It's been on for a while.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that Invincible book didn't make it on the list. The one they gave us a video game for a week before Free Comic Book Day.
But there wasn't an actual book for that, was there?
I thought there was a comic with the game. Like you were
but you only got that. You only got that if you bought the game. So they were tied.
Right.
There you go.
Yep.
See, I'm relying on you guys to know how that works. I don't pay attention to this kind of stuff.
Oh, we didn't even get it right. When I tell you that it became, I got into it with some retailers, and because apparently the street date was different for the book and the video game. So some people got slapped by Lunar, and I got into it with this dude online who felt like the store should have got penalized and charged thousands of dollars for making that mistake. It was wild.
So what was really, really interesting to me about that whole conversation, because I didn't weigh in on it, because there's no winning those conversations, but it is not hard for Lunar to solve this, for any of these companies to solve this. If you have a street date, don't expect me to read one of the 375 emails that you sent me that week. You put a sticky on it that says, do not sell. That's it. It's so friggin' easy. They can do all kinds of other stuff in those things. Like, this is not hard. And having to rely on us to catch an email is just asinine. So to all the retailers who read every one of your emails, God bless you. You're a better person than I am.
Absolutely.
But you're ridiculous if you're going to hold us to that same standard.
Amen, brother. That's exactly how I felt about
that. I was so irritated by that whole thing. I almost posted, "You are not serious people."
and I usually don't jump in the comments, but that was one time because my man Phil from Offbeat, who I see him in the chat, he was one of the stores they use as an example. They like screen grabbed his shop advertising the game and was like, here's an example of a retailer that's doing this to undercut other retailers. And I'm like, he's in Jackson, Mississippi. Like, there's no comic store he's undercutting by selling this game. Obviously, there were some people who just didn't look at the damn street date of this video game a week before Free Comic Book Day. Give people some grace. Shit.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It was crazy, man. I will never again. I'd be like, they sent us a video game at a comic shop.
It's shocking to me that you guys are not already adept at selling video games and know exactly how that works. That's it. And as Jeremy points out, no one reads signs. Retailers don't read emails. We've all learned these are the lessons that you learn.
Yeah, but like Tommy said, PRH stickers every box with the street date. Like when you get this, because I get literally 35 boxes from PRH, and some of them I know I have to open immediately, and some of them I know I'm not supposed to touch until Wednesday. Like, it's not that hard. This is really not hard.
No, but but this is how the infrastructure gets built, right? It is, people step over the line, and so systems are built. In many ways, this is how FOC was built. Brian Hibbs, sues Marvel, and then they create FOC, and then Marvel immediately starts, exploiting that in other ways. So, these systems are built in response to the challenges that the manufacturers have. But I think it won't be the last time we see this because of that success, right? We had you talking about the it being invincible is not even remotely off because Robert Kirkman even said at Comics Pro that there's that comics to video game, that comics to animation pipeline is the thing that comics needs. So we're going to continue to see this. We're going to have to build infrastructures. We're going to have to build standards, and everybody's going to figure it out. We're all going to find an equilibrium. I have no doubt.
Well, here's one of the trickier parts though too. Now this is not really tied to the video games part, but in the book market, there are very few books that they actually send you that have a strict on sale date. So most book chains, when they're getting our stuff that we're selling on the like Tuesday, Wednesday, they're selling it the week before.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so it's balancing that aspect too of just like when you're getting your product, like this can go out probably, but they just shouldn't do this. And again, it does come down to, at the end of the day, like you said, you label the box. You label the box if it has the strict on there. Like back in the day, we weren't allowed to open the Harry Potter cases.
I was going to mention Harry Potter. Yeah.
Yep.
And what we would do is we would make a stack of them in the middle of the store with that sticker that says, "I'm not opening this until that date." And then and then that was like getting people more and more interested in them.
Yeah.
So
you know what was more insane? When Oprah's book club was huge, you would just get a box that said Oprah's book club number 35. You did not know what book you were getting.
Wow.
You just got cases of it.
That's amazing.
We got to start us a book club.
That's right. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. Fellas, tell us a little bit about where the people can find you. Let's start with you, Mike.
Yeah. So you can find us if you're in the Chicagoland area. We're in LaGrange, Illinois. So if you happen to be local to Chicago, come check us out. We're in a burb. It's about 15 minutes outside of the city of Chicago. 15 and a half South LaGrange Road is the exact address. But if you just want to follow us online on socials, you can do that at Blurs Underground. We make it real simple. And, for all of my folks scratching their head going, what's a blurred? It's my favorite question we get all the time. Just think Black nerds. You're looking at one. It's very self-explanatory. But in case you didn't know, we threw the shit in the name. So it's Blurs Underground. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok, because apparently the kids like TikTok these days. So we got us on one of those.
Nice. Brandon, where we find Brandon Edition? What did Brian? Brian said.
Here's the old promo thing kicking in. You can always find me in the streets and also anywhere on the internet at Variant Edmonton on pretty much any social platform we are. Variant Edmonton is also on our regular website, and yeah, that's where the store is. You can find me at Soupy Toasterson, and given a little bit more content being done, back doing the indirect market in the summer.
Oh, hey.
You're back.
I love that.
Awesome.
Right.
That's
Excellent.
awesome. Brandon has written a really, really great column for a number of years. It's featured on The Beat and has its own site. And yeah, it's well worth a read.
Absolutely.
It's a positive retailers column, which you don't see a lot of.
I'm not sure that's never going to work. That is never going to see that succeed.
And again, it has. Thanks so much, fellas, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, boys. We just went through the big sellers this week. If you want to see the entire top 400 list that came out of our bestseller list, you need to be subscribing to the Prana Bullet. It is a weekly download of the biggest headlines of behind the scenes moves in comics. I haven't read that in a while, and it is exactly what it is. It's everything you need to know to run your business or career in comics. We try and put it all in one place, including the top 400 lists, including the market share, including all of the incredible work that Megan, who's somewhere in the chat, puts it together every week, pulling together all the headlines. We only cover 3 or 4. She hits them all. All the really important ones are in there. So do check it out. Hit that QR code or go to pranadm.com and get us that download. What else are we doing? Oh, yeah.
And then you need to get people to put Comics the Magazine on the polls. This issue is out tomorrow, folks. Number 3. So get in there, add it to your pull list so that your retailer knows that you want it. If you're a retailer, add it to your own pull list so that you know you want it. Just get it on pull lists. And we're about to drop the number 4 cover, right? Which is like a big top secret thing, so
Yes.
secret that I'm not even allowed to see what it is. And
Well,
like the
it
website will keep saying,
involves
"Can I have the cover, please?"
it involves a corporation that we discussed earlier, and corporates are going to corporate. That's for sure.
Pretty exciting though. There's going to
Whoa! Look
be
at
look at
this.
that.
Almost 300 copies for
300.
subscribers today.
Wow, that's
Oh,
amazing. That's incredible.
thank you, Django.
That's so
Thank you,
good.
buddy.
Yeah,
Awesome. All right. Did we do it? Oh,
that's it. We
for
did it.
those of you, normally we would have been running our Final Cut video that Keith was able to do with one of our Prana publishers. We're not able to run that this week. Next week we'll be back to our normal Final Cut videos. They've been hugely helpful for those publishers and for hopefully the retailers who know just how much to be ordering and all the fans who know to be pre-ordering. So we will have that back next week. Also next week we're going to be, can we talk about the show we're doing next week? Do you
Hope
want
so. I don't
to
actually know what it is for sure, but I hope that it's what I think it is. If it is,
let's see. I'm trying to remember which one.
I just saw
Oh,
that
yeah.
we've got a thing.
Are we doing the marketing one? The marketing for dummies? Are
I
we
think
doing
that's
that
our
one?
plan, right? Is if we can get the
Yeah.
guy that you were going to try and get.
We got a couple of people that we're reaching out to. We're going to try. I just got back from a big marketing seminar. I have some people who I think would be really great voices on this. Check back in with us. We're going to have our goal with the show going forward. And thank you to all of you who've been so patient with us as we have figured out the kinks of, running a show on our own. Our goal here is to use this as a platform to, bring you the information that you need for your businesses, but to also kind of give a platform for new voices and for the voices that we need to hear. And even sometimes have the conversations we don't want to be having. Our goal at Comic Industry Insiders Live is to have the conversations that are going to grow your business, because when you grow, we grow. And including, Brian, including Prana, including all the stuff that we work on in Comics the Magazine, it really is dependent on you guys doing well. So we want to make sure that that is the case. Do we have anything else we're talking about, or am I doing the thing? Because I haven't done the thing in a while.
Next week is going to be marketing. We're going to talk about a ton of different marketing things. And I've got some really fun little marketing successes we've had recently with Earth
Well,
519, my comic shop that we can talk about. And then in 2 weeks, do you want to tease it all? In 2 weeks, Adam and I may be the most hated people in comics, and that's all I'll leave it at. And,
I think we're going to get canceled in 2 weeks.
we
So
may
it's
very
been
well get
fun.
canceled.
We're going to
You
do
know what?
3
Bring it on,
episodes and
baby.
we're
Bring
getting
it on.
canceled. That's for sure. In 2 weeks, you make sure to be here. Put that on your calendar. That's all we're going to say about it. Next week, we'll talk about
All right,
what it
buddy.
is. Yeah.
You do the thing.
I'm going to do the thing. It's been too long. Hey, hi. How are you? I know that you're like Brandon. You're in your back room. You're opening boxes. You're pulling subscriber pulls. I just want to say thank you, because thank you, because the people who come into your shop, who are going to go into that shop and you're going to pick up your pull box and all the books that you subscribe to, you're going to go, yep, I committed to those. And you're going to pick them up and you're going to take them home and you're going to sit and read them and you're going to put attention on something that doesn't have a screen for a little while. Thank you. And for those of you who are self-publishing, you are doing the work and you're pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding away. And it never feels like the returns are quite what you deserve, but you do it anyway, because you want to tell stories and you want to create comics and you want to create the thing that's inspired you. Thank you. And if you're working at a corporation and you're handling the corporate bullshit that you have to deal with on a daily basis just to be the protector, right, of these, not only these characters but also this industry that we all dearly love. Thank you for putting up with that, each and every one of you. Thank you. You know why? Because this week you saved comics. Namaste, y'all.